Hey there, welcome to day 1115 of What You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, just sharing my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar world, the corporate world of business, to the online world of business. And the lessons I'm learning, the things I'm doing okay with, the things I'm doing well at, and the things I'm really freaking crashing and burning at. Because there have been a couple of those. There's been a couple of things like everybody else that we try in our offline businesses as well as in our online businesses, incidentally in our lives, that just plain don't work out for us, right? Because they're not right for us. They're not the right thing to do. They're not the right strategy. They're not the right path for us. It's easy to learn about other people's paths to success. And guess what? Everybody's system, everybody's path to success absolutely positively works. It's worked for them, and if it worked for them, that means it could work for someone else as well. Doesn't mean it's going to work for me, and it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Each and every one of us, no matter how many coaches or mentors or books we read or courses we buy or seminars we attend or degrees we get, we have to figure out individually how we apply the things that we've learned and create what we want in our lives. And it's different for each and every one of us. Everybody's path to success is slightly different. Even in something like a network marketing company where they teach you their success path, follow this system and you'll be successful, there's still only a small percentage, which is the same percentage as anything else, of people that will be able to successfully use that system. And then everybody else will either have to tweak it or figure it out or make something that works for them, because we're all different, and what works for us and what attracts other people and what gives us the results we want is different than everybody else. And is that unfair? No, it's just life. It's our understanding that our journey is our journey and everyone else's is theirs as well. And so we have to figure things out on our own. So today, our idiom for supersize your business was, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. Now, I will admit that in my younger days, I absolutely positively believed this to be true, as did Napoleon Bonaparte and Director Zorg from The Fifth Element, and then some French guy whose name I can't pronounce, so I'm not even going to try here because I meat-axed it in my Supersize Your Business video. I actually blah, blah, blah. One of those when you trip over your tongue moments, which, after thousands and thousands of videos, you would think I wouldn't do that. You would think I'd have this polished, professional, success-oriented system and format that other people use, and this is how you attract the customers and do all these things. But I'm absolutely positively not interested in that. I'm interested in just showing up and being myself. I was invited to be on a podcast today to talk about the one big problem. And I was thinking about it and talking to my daughter yesterday, and she's like, well, I think communication is the one big problem, and told me why she thinks that. And I can't remember what my son-in-law said now, but I've been thinking about it. I still haven't decided what I'm going to talk about for the interview. I'm sure I'll decide before the interview, but I keep coming back to being yourself and being who you really are. And why do I keep coming back to that? Because like this egocentric belief that if you want something done right, I have to do it myself. I used to think that I had to put on, and not put on masks, but behave in different ways in different situations. I believed in situational leadership and situational everything. Learned it in college. And actually, I believed it. I believed, yep, you have to bring to the situation what is required for that situation. So what I had to bring to corporate America were the elements of myself that were right for that situation, right for corporate America. What I had to bring to my children as their mother were the things and the characteristics and the parts of me that made me their mother. What I had to bring to my marriage were the things that were what I thought should be brought to my marriage and how a marriage should go. And some of those things worked out, some of them didn't. Sometimes when there's just part of us showing up to the party, we're missing the parts that we actually need. When we're just engaged on a professional level, we're forgetting that sometimes we have to be human beings and remember that we're all human beings, whether it's in a professional environment or not. And we need to remember that some situations require our emotions and our thinking and our all of us, our whole being, not just the professional part that shows up. This is what you should do if you want to act professional. But that was all ego stuff that I've learned. And so I'm thinking that I'm probably going to talk about the importance of being yourself. And I think that it's too bad that most of us, if we figure it out at all, realize when we're older that that's what we're here for. We're here to be who we uniquely are, experience this life as only we can experience it, and to be ourselves. And by being completely ourselves, I hate the word authentic, but it's true, our real, authentic, true self, as much of us as we can bring to the party in the situation, that gives everybody else around us permission to be that way as well. And it's about accepting and loving and being happy with who you are. That is the important part. So I think that when you realize that you are the only person in the universe that is exactly like you, you realize how special and powerful that is to just be yourself. And that makes everything and everyone around you kind of fall into place, the place that is right for your life. It's not about your mom or your dad or your sisters or your brothers or your aunts or your uncles or your cousins or your friends or anyone else's life or your kids. It's about, or your, past mentors or coaches. It's about how you want to show up in this world, how you want to experience it, how you want to interact. So I think I'm probably going to talk about being yourself, being who you really are, because then there's no competition. And so not only is it a lot more fun, you're a lot more happy and your life feels a lot more satisfying and successful, but you feel like you fit into the world and the universe, which is what all of us want to do anyway. We just want to find what's our place, what's our role, why are we here, what's my reason for being. So I think that if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. I think that helped me to hone in on what is the one problem that I see in the world. Because I can think of a whole bunch of things, and anything we can see all the problems we want if we're looking for problems. But I like to be solution focused. So when Avala asked if I would talk about the one problem for 5 to 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, well, what is the one problem? How do you define the one problem? Now, I'm sure most people will go on her podcast and talk about the one solution that they have to a problem that the people that they serve face. But I guess I'm taking a bigger, more holistic approach to this actual podcast because, yeah, could I go on and could I say, well, it's because people face changes and challenges all the time and they don't have a framework or a way of discussing them? Yeah, sure, I could go there and I could plug the Get Up and Go challenge in the SOAP framework, but I don't wanna. I don't have to. I don't need to do that. And I think that it's an opportunity to share a much bigger objective, a much bigger win and a much bigger lesson learned for myself and for a lot of people than just, plugging challenges and what I do for a living and for fun, right? Actually, it's more for fun than a living. So it's up to everybody to decide that. So if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. I totally used to believe this. When I was younger, I absolutely positively believed, and my ego kept feeding me proof and information that was true, that I had to do everything myself, or I had to control things, or I had to control as many things as I could possibly control to determine that I would get the outcome that I wanted. Well, after a few lessons learned in that category, I learned that it's important and imperative that I do the things and the parts that I love to do, that I'm actually awesome at. Not just the things that I'm good at or proficient at, because there's always going to be someone who's better at absolutely everything I do than me. And that's not a cop-out. That's a realization that there's a spectrum of performance in everything we do, everything we want to do, everything we want to learn. And for us to expect that we are the best in the world or the universe at something is pretty, we want to strive to be the best at it, but we don't want to be brokenhearted if we find out that somebody can do something better than we can. Because when we take ourselves as a whole, all of the things that we can do and who we are, nobody else can compare to that. And so if we're just taking, somebody that thinks they have the most beautiful face in the whole wide world, guess what? There's always going to be somebody else, and beauty is so subjective, that is more beautiful or seems to be more beautiful. So if you're trying to compare yourself to other people and rank, you're always going to be heartbroken and disappointed. But with respect to wanting to do something or getting something done right, if I realize that other people are way better at certain aspects of life and at business than I am, I'm willing to search them out and find them and let them be part of it and have them, invite them to please be part of whatever it is I'm trying to create. If I need to learn how to do something, I don't just, we're none of us born knowing how to do things. If I want to learn how to do something, I'm going to find somebody who's already done it or is successfully doing it and getting the results I want and learn from them. But I'm still going to have to take what I learn from them, what they show me and teach me, and apply it and figure out how to make it my own and how to make it work for me. Because we are all different. We all come from different experience levels and different types of experiences and beliefs and feelings and thoughts. And that is what makes life in the world so interesting. So that was our idiom today. Our Get Up and Go Challenge, day 16 today. Instead of taking a day off in between the big 4-day SOAP frameworks, I decided I was going to go right into the next one. So I just jumped right in from relationships to physical. So we will go through my old SOAP framework, and we'll go through the S, the O, the A, and the P on an example of our physical well-being. Remember, there's 7 areas to our life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, and relationships. So we did relationships. We'll do physical for 4 days. Then we will do financial for 4 days. Why those 3? Because every time I survey, every time I ask, every person I talk to, the number one concern or area or challenge or problem or change that they're dealing with right now is financial for most people, physical, and relationships. Some, if not all of those 3 areas of their life are being affected, especially since COVID-19. And so that's why I hit those big 3 with a breakdown, a very detailed breakdown, and a tool for each of the letters of the framework for those 3 big areas. Then the other 4 areas of our life, I go through a day, and I add a tool and for each of the S, the O, the A, P. So by the time you're done with the challenge, you've got 7 tools for each of the 4 steps of the framework, at least 7 tools, usually more, but at least 7 that you can go out and you can use this over and over and over again in your life to make it automatic. Every time you're faced with a change or challenge, you'll have better results after you've been faced with that challenge or change than before you experienced it. That's my whole purpose of the challenge, is to keep us moving forward in our lives, to keep us going, getting up and going, no matter what, no matter how hard it seems. Doing one thing a day that centers you, doing a 365-day challenge on doing one thing every day that centers you. Lost my earphone. I lost my wireless mic, so I don't know what I did with it. I got to find it, because I noticed, I actually watched a video this week just for a couple minutes when I was posting it, and I realized my lips have not been matching the sound, and I personally find that very, very irritating. Now, if I'm just listening and I'm not looking, I don't care, but when I see the lips and the mouth not matching, even with my visual challenges, it makes me crazy. So I can't imagine how it makes other people feel. So I wanted to see if using an old microphone and ear set would eliminate that. I don't know if it has or not. I haven't checked. I'll check today. And if it doesn't, I will go on a massive search for my microphone and see if I can't hook that up to my phone when I record. But today's was learn as if you are going to learn forever. And I love this because I like to think I'm a lifelong learner. I don't understand people that go to school for a while and then they get out of school and they think that they're done, that they don't ever have to learn anything more. And there are a lot of people like that, millions and millions and millions. And in my naive nature, I thought everybody just wanted to always be learning and growing and reading and figuring out new things and were curious about things. But a lot of people, they really aren't. They go to school, they get their profession, they get their job, they work into their routine, they have their daily thing, they have their few hobbies and interests, and that's it. That's all they want to learn. So, to each our own, right? More power to them. But I like the lifelong learning method, and believing that we always need to be learning and growing and expanding to have a happy life. And so I thought it was a really good challenge today for centering. I guess all the challenges that match our beliefs we really feel good about and we like. All the challenges that don't match our current belief system, those are the ones that really challenge us and that are a stretch and a growth. But guess what? It's with each of those stretches that we do grow. All right, that is all I've got today. Any questions, any help, any challenges you're facing, just ask in the comments below. Or if you don't want to ask in the comments below, direct message me, and I will, if I can't answer it right off the bat, I will help you find the resource that can get you the answer that you need. Because nobody deserves to be stuck. I know how frustrating it is to be doing something or learning something new or online and being exposed to things and trying to figure it out and you've Googled and you've looked and you've tried to get some answers. You've asked in a couple of groups and nobody's giving you an answer because maybe they don't know. A lot of times we ask questions and people don't know. But there's power in just the asking of the question. I've learned that and seen that time and time again for me. So I want to encourage you to experience the power of asking a question as well, and I'll be that sounding board for you. All right, have an amazing day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.